How you doing? How you doing, man? We back with another episode of Put You On Guy. I got another special guest with me. She's a social media manager, PR manager, publicist, founder of the RLE, Reed Limited Entertainment. I got that girl, Danielle.
Thank you for having me. What's up, everybody? I'm excited to be here.
What's going on? What's going on? This is my first episode back, actually, from my year anniversary. So,
welcome back.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I didn't drop an episode this week, Friday. Usually my dad drop an episode. I wanted just to sit back, and just think about some new things I could do, some more changes, some more stuff I need to get. Just want to sit back and just suck that in. Okay, I did this the first year. How I'm gonna level up?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you gotta take a step back and just kind of reflect on what you achieved, and then think about the things you still want to achieve.
Absolutely. And so that was the thing for me, man. So, but for you though, what are some of your goals you were hoping to accomplish this year?
Right. So this year, I am celebrating 6 years of Reed Limited Entertainment.
Yay! Let's go.
We are 6 years old.
6 years old.
Yes. So what is RLE? RLE, which is what I call Reed Limited Entertainment LLC, is my PR and social media agency.
Okay.
I am born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
Peace up, A-Town down. Shout out to Clay Cole.
Okay.
I was
Clay
born
Cole.
and raised in Jonesboro, Georgia, not far off Terra Boulevard. So shout out to everybody out in Jonesboro. Shout out to Big Lotto. Shout out to all the folks that know about Atlanta.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I rep Atlanta all day, but I've actually been around to a lot of places. I've lived in a few places, DC and New York. But this year we're celebrating 6 years as an agency, and my goal is actually to gross $100,000 and work with some of the biggest clients and the biggest brands and corporations in the country this year. We have added some new services. We have been known as primarily a public relations and social media agency. Right. We have managed live social media events for the World Natural Hair Show, Talia Wajid. We have put on PR campaigns and publicized major events like the Black Girls in Media Conference in Atlanta in 2022. We have placed our clients in Rolling Out. We've put our clients on Good Day Atlanta twice. We even have landed some of our clients on Roland Martin's show. All over, I've placed and worked with over 50 clients with my team over the last 6 years between Atlanta, DC, New York, etc. And we've grown the Instagram pages for a lot of really big agencies. Technique Agency is actually one of our biggest clients that we worked with. We worked with them for over, I believe, about 6 to 8 months, and we were able to grow their Instagram page to over 10,000 followers organically. So the new services that we have added this year are event planning. I love to plan events. So I just came from a client event with the Simple View Academy, which will be the very first Black founded charter school in Cobb County in 2025. Shout out to my client.
Black Essence, I like that.
Yes. Shout out to my client who actually is a Spelman graduate. She's leading that charge, Nandi Edward. We just placed her in the Atlanta Voice this yesterday, and so they got to tell her story and to talk about the event Ubuntu Community Day, which I just came from. Today, June 10th, we celebrated the final day of the summer stream camp for the Simple View Academy. So from education, clients in education to entertainment, we primarily represent businesses, talent, and corporations that need some kind of fun, something entertaining, eye-catching to help them grow their platforms. But events, I really want to plan more events in Atlanta. And I'm not talking about these ratchet last-minute put together.
Ratchet motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying?
Nice, well-planned, curated events in Atlanta, from galas to birthday parties. I really want to be an agency that can also work with the celebrities and the rising artists that are out here in Atlanta that are trying to, create spaces where their work and their names and brands can be celebrated.
I like that. So let's take it back a little bit before now, man. So did you go to college or whatnot?
Yes, I did go to college. Shout out to Syracuse University.
Okay, Syracuse, my boy.
Yes.
Hello there.
Orange, yes. Go Orange. I went to Syracuse University and I majored in African American Studies and Spanish Language, Literature, and Culture. Sí, yo puedo hablar en español.
Oh, speaking Spanish. Oh.
Yo vivía en Madrid, España por como 5 meses. I lived in Madrid, Spain, actually.
Really?
Yeah. For about 5 months. I studied abroad for about half a year. And it was life-changing. Like, Syracuse University was an amazing opportunity because I actually went through the Posse Scholarship. Posse, the Posse Foundation gives full ride scholarships to any high school students out there, to certain colleges to get a full ride. You know, a full ride is like a dream come true.
Absolutely.
And so I actually made it to the final round of Posse when I was a high school student. I went to Chamblee Charter High School. Shout out to CCHS.
Shout them out.
Or Chamblee High School up in Dunwoody, Cobb County, DeKalb.
Right.
And so I wanted to go to Syracuse because it was a great journalism school. My goal was always to be a news reporter. I wanted to be a news reporter. I was inspired by Jovita Moore and Monica Kaufman, the black women we see in Atlanta on the news.
Right.
And so I wanted to go to Syracuse University. I did not get the Posse Scholarship, but by the grace of God, my mom, she's a single parent teacher. I have a twin sister, so she was trying to put both of us through college and couldn't afford it. I was able to get a full ride because Syracuse gave us like 100% need-based financial aid. And so everything that I did at Syracuse University was covered for all 4 years up in upstate New York, including my study abroad.
Right.
So I didn't have to pay anything out of pocket for study abroad except the literal spending money I had. And then they even had a program where they would cover your flight. So they covered my like $1,000 round trip flight. So Syracuse University, shout out to Syracuse. They held your girl down. And so I did go to college and it helped me a lot because Syracuse University is known for basketball. Okay.
Absolutely.
But we actually really have one of the best journalism schools in the country, public relations schools called Newhouse, and they actually named like a building after Oprah at the school. Like, there's so much money, there's so many connections and people that have gone through Syracuse University. Joe Biden actually went to Syracuse University. So the president of the United States went to my alma mater. Period. So just recognize, y'all just better recognize SU. We don't play like, and it's been a pleasure to actually connect with like super dope Syracuse alumni in Atlanta that are making a lot of noise. If I had to shout out some of my like friends and kind of colleagues that are really doing like super dope stuff in Atlanta, that went to Syracuse University, there's a lot of people I can name, really all over the place. I've even had a chance to work with some clients of mine that have hired me to be their publicist. One of them, her name is Jasmine White. She doesn't live in Atlanta, she lives in New York. But she actually produced and wrote a show that's now going to be on Revolt called Hotline. So everyone who wants to chase these dreams and become Issa Rae, Shonda Rhimes, she's actually doing it, like writing and producing her own shows. There's a lot of people I could shout out. But I'll think of some more names to plug as I put you on game.
Okay, so what made you want to start your own, your own agency? What made you want to start your own agency with the RLE?
Yeah, so to be quite honest, I felt like I was forced to be an entrepreneur
Let's talk about it.
due to being unemployed for like a year and a half after I graduated with my college degree. People don't tell you straight up that after you graduate from college, the world now no longer cares about you. It's like, congratulations on all the Facebook posts about you with you in your hat and your cap, but let 2 or 3 months go by, baby, nobody cares about you, and all you want is a job. And everyone's just like, oh, well, you're not going to get your dream job, right? And so college, after you graduate, they talk about it, like there's statistics that say a lot of college graduates fall into depression after college because you're told no so many times, unfortunately, that sometimes you lose your daggone mind, and it can be a little degrading and kind of disappointing to have to freaking go work at Starbucks. Or a lot of my friends had to go work the same job that they was working literally in high school before they went to college.
What you tell me?
Like, so you have to explain, like, you wanted me to go far away, you wanted me to do all this stuff, you wanted me to go into debt hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get a piece of paper that's not going to get you a job.
See, I appreciate, that's pretty much what my whole podcast is really about, per se, because I try to tell people, it's crazy how you up here sitting next to, I preach this all the time, and there's so many guests like you come up here and say the same thing. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man, you know what I'm saying? College is not always a recipe for success. It's not always. And it's people that go to college that come out and do something totally different.
And it's how you network it.
The paper. Who you know. Yep.
Yeah, because it's not the paper that gives you a job. It's who you know.
Connections. Absolutely.
Now, there are a lot of people that get lucky. I had a lot of friends that got lucky. They were from New York, so they went straight back home. But being from Atlanta, I wanted to come back to Atlanta. So guess what? I came back to Atlanta, and there were not a lot of jobs in media, in news, and in media. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of them were white owned. Like I had landed an interview at WSB-TV to be like a digital something, and they set up the interview, but then I never heard back. There were times when I reached out to even college alumni who were white. This white woman, I'll never forget, her name was Tracy Barash. I put her name out there. She was a Syracuse University alumni at Cartoon Network, Turner Broadcasting, TBS. That's a media company right here in Atlanta. I just graduated from this amazing school. I speak 2 languages. I've lived abroad, but I got denied for a full year applying for media jobs in Atlanta. And I realized that being a black girl still mattered. And being that these white companies were hiring white kids straight out of college, but taking a second look and guessing and wondering about me. Like I had multiple conversations because I knew Tracy before I graduated. I emailed her like they tell you to do, told her I was graduating, asked to set up a coffee, set up a call, followed up. Months and months later, she kind of responded, kind of didn't, said we could one day set up a call. In the meantime, I applied for a T3 internship. A lot of people don't know that companies have specific college entry level traineeship programs for new college graduates. Because unfortunately, when you come out of college, you realize the college jobs you worked does not count as work experience on an actual job interview.
Give me that, Jim. Y'all pay attention, man.
So whatever year you graduate from college, the year after that will now be your first year of work experience. Unless you had an internship. Right. Maybe if you had 1 or 2, but you cannot graduate and say, I have 3 years of work experience. Because if you really don't have 3 years of work experience, you don't. I knew kids from, Speedy Mormon. Speedy Mormon is someone I went to Syracuse University with. If you look him up, he's like viral, like really big on like Instagram. He's now like this really big media personality at Complex. He interviews everybody. He's interviewed like Shaq and like Barack Obama. Like he just interviewed like all these like amazing people. Right. And he got that job at Complex, and he told me one time and shared his story because he used to leave while he was a college student, left campus, would go back to New York and work as a full-time or part-time employee in the office in New York City, not on campus, like during his summers and even during his final semester. He was like, Syracuse is 2 or 3 hours away from New York City, like 4 hours. So you could take a bus to get back to New York City, but he was leaving New York every week in his senior year to go back to New York City to work in the real Complex office while we're in college still like applying for jobs. So he was getting real work experience in college. Unless you were doing something like that, that's something that could guarantee him a job because he already had the experience of like a regular everyday employee.
Exactly.
But
experience is greatest teacher. I always say that.
Exactly. Like you really got to have your ducks in a row. And one thing I wish someone told me, get an internship after you graduate from college. I don't know what it is, but I was programmed to think that internships are only for college students, not college graduates. Guess what? I knew friends that got an internship as soon as they graduated. And I'm thinking, that's stupid. That's beneath me. Right. They had jobs by the time it was like September, the fall, they were full-time employees at that company. Damn. By fall, I was like, damn, I've been unemployed for like 6 months.
Right.
How come I'm not getting interviews? How come I'm not getting hired? Because you have to understand, you're a college graduate. Let somebody who graduated 3-4 years ago apply for that same job.
Right.
Guaranteed they're busting it out more experienced than you.
Mm-hmm.
So if I've been out of college for 4, 5, 6 years, I have 4, 5, 6 years of work experience. If you're a college graduate, you can only apply for entry-level positions that require 1, max 2 years of experience. So there were jobs that I was applying for that I thought I was qualified for, but that later on I realized I wasn't.
Damn.
So
that's cold.
Yeah.
That's real cold.
There's a lot of things, like I'm trying to be more like kind of career minded on TikTok, teaching people about resumes and job interviews. Because I've interviewed, when I moved to DC in 2018, I had a bad breakup with a guy in Atlanta. Didn't live far from here, and moved to DC, and that's when my business, I actually turned it into consulting because I was a talent manager at first. And long story short, I remember I applied for over 20 jobs. 20, no. Throughout the year in DC, I applied for communications jobs, news jobs, media jobs, anything I was qualified for. I landed 20 interviews and didn't get any job. Until the end of the year. I got a social media manager job. And then this guy fired me 2 weeks after.
Damn.
So I have been through a lot as far as the job search. And also what turned me off of being a news reporter is my very first internship in news. I was able to get a paid internship at Time Warner Cable News when I was a junior in college. And the black reporter that I interned under, she wore this nice kind of cute straight wig every day. And one time I had natural hair. If you go to my profile at Danielle S. Reed, at Danielle S. Reed, DANIELLE REED. You can see I changed my hair. I wear braids. I wear, my natural hair. But long story short, I straightened my hair one time, had a straight hair look. And she was like, okay, so are you going to wear your hair straight or are you going to wear your hair curly? That's what she said to me when I walked in one morning. And I was confused. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, as a reporter, you have to have one look. And this one look can't change. So black women, we naturally change our hair. We change our hairstyle. It's like a point of expression.
Absolutely.
So she was telling me that old school, traditionally, if you work in news, you have to keep one look, especially when you're applying for jobs, because when they're watching your reel, which are stories that you've done and put together, they want to see one hairstyle. But for black women, we change our hair. So it turned me off completely of that industry. The white director at the time who I worked under in my internship, after 10 weeks working a paid internship, at the beginning of the internship, he told me something that also turned me off. He said, Danielle, I think you're gonna have a really good chance at being a reporter. I said, thank you. I said, I'm excited. I love this. This is what I want to do. I've always wanted to be a reporter. And he said, after you go get like a master's degree in journalism, then you can come back and I'll be happy to hire you. I was getting my BA. So I was getting my 4-year bachelor's degree. Right. That is all you usually need to get a news job. He told me to go get a master's degree, which is 2 more years. That's 6 years of school. Right. And at the time, there was a white reporter at my internship who told me she got hired fresh out of college, like after she got her bachelor's. So the news director told me to go get 2 additional years and another degree before he would ever hire me.
So you feel like he was being racist? That was like some racist type stuff? Or you feel like he just...
Yeah. What I've actually, and this is, you can look up these statistics. Black journalists usually have to get more training and more education than their counterparts for the same job. Right. Meaning we have to be twice as smart and literally more educated. I do think that what he was telling me was something that he would not tell a white Syracuse University graduate, because he went to Syracuse University. That other reporter went to Syracuse University, and I was in Syracuse University, but he told me to go get a master's degree. I know reporters that have taken on thousands of extra dollars of debt to get a master's degree in the same. So imagine you want to major in chemistry, and you get a bachelor's degree in chemistry. You can go get a job and be a chemist right now. someone tells you, I want you to go get another chemistry degree, like a higher level of chemistry. It's the same chemistry. You already have your bachelor's degree in chemistry, but they want you to go get another degree in the same subject. What are you really learning more? That's the thing with journalism. You getting a master's degree, I'm not, shout out to everyone who has their master's.
Yeah, shout them out.
Unless I was going to school to get a separate degree, like let's say I went to go get my master's in business administration, then I would be learning something new. For me to have a bachelor's degree in journalism and then to go get a master's degree in journalism, there's no, I'm just getting the exact same degree, just at a higher level.
That's true.
That's not required for the job. It's not. I'm just trying to tell you. So
yeah. What are some of your early trials and tribulations you went through in your business?
In my business, so I want to tell the story about how I had to learn how to make money.
Okay.
Back in 2017, 18 is when I started Read Limited Entertainment, but I was a talent manager first.
Right. Managing
talent which is what I learned by just kind of working in the music industry and kind of being around people in media. I ended up just discovering people on social media via Instagram and falling in love with their music and their aesthetic and their brand, and started just signing people under my own contract. Shout out to this woman named Stephanie. Stephanie put me on game as a talent manager in Atlanta when I first came down here and was staying with my ex, and trying to figure it out, trying to apply for jobs. But because I wasn't getting jobs, I was like, well, let me just do my passion. And I started managing rappers. And by managing rappers, it was cool. I would get invited to dope events. I would get invited to the studios.
All the parties and shit.
I was at parties. It was kind of like a scene. And we did a lot of cool things, but I wasn't getting paid. When you become a talent manager and when you work off of contracts alone, the money is slow. The money is very slow when you work on contracts alone.
Right.
So like ultimately,
gems, real gems.
Yeah, so I had to change to a pay structure that would allow me to get paid first and then do the work.
Right.
Because it got to a point where I basically got evicted. Under eviction, like in 2018, right before I moved to DC, I was living with my ex at the time. Things were not good between us. I had actually moved in my talent. I had moved in a rapper from Canada and like this model / actor. And we were all kind of like close in age and we were all trying to just grind and hustle. And long story short, I wasn't making any money, so my car got repoed. I'll never forget, I lost my cherry Ford Focus. It was such a cute car. I loved that car. And I ended up like breaking like a window. Like I was so pissed off.
Damn.
Like
I would too, shit.
I was so mad. Like, and I realized, I had just put my rappers on Love and Hip Hop. I had just went and we was just on TV at Sister Circle Live.
Right.
We had just come back from New York doing a showcase. So all this stuff looked great, but people didn't know that I wasn't making any money. Everything looked cool, but people didn't know that I was broke. I was literally like I had like a full-time like telemarketing job working on the phones while I was building RLE. So when I decided to move to DC in 2018, everyone told me you should do consulting. And I didn't know what that was. So I was like, let me try to do consulting. Right. Consulting is figuring out what the hell do you want to pay me for, and I charge you a rate for it. I had to start at the basics, like you need a press release? Okay, that's gonna be $300.
Right.
Okay, what do you need? You want me to get you interviews? I had to create packages, consulting packages, which is what we now have. A consulting package that says, okay, for X amount of money, I'll book you X amount of interviews.
Right.
Or for social media management, I will post X amount of times per week for every month for X amount of money. So I now have beginner experience and celebrity packages where we can start at a very affordable rate. We charge on a monthly basis. We meet with our clients once a week, 4 times a month.
Right. And
we build and brand their themselves like that. So honestly, I had to learn how to ask for the money up front and really market the business to be a consulting agency so that we could actually build and grow as a business. Because guess what? You don't have a business if you're not making money. You don't have a business if you're not making money. Spending money does not mean you have a business. Spending money you can do on your own for free. That is not a business. That's just spending money. So I don't spend any money. We have very low overhead. It doesn't cost anything for me to talk to people. So I had to figure out how to get paid for talking and for giving the knowledge that I have.
Yes, you have a lot of gems.
Thank you.
For real. So I know you talked about, in the process of you doing that, you being a social media manager. What's some of the biggest challenges that you face doing that?
Social media management, it does take a lot of time, but that's the number one thing that we solve for our clients. Yeah. I take on the task of posting for my clients daily. I had the chance to actually manage the Instagram of one of Beyonce's backup dancers. Okay. Her name is Saida Nairobi. She danced for Beyonce, Neo. She's actually on tour with Neo right now. Okay. She also danced for Ciara. Sierra. Isn't her name Ciara? Like, isn't that the correct way? No, people call her Ciara.
For real, I ain't never heard of it.
Okay, is it Sierra or Ciara?
Hey man, you learn something new.
Okay, Sierra.
This beat is.
No, the challenge is sometimes it's a challenge when the clients don't have content. So you could want us to grow your page and post, but if you don't have no photos, any videos, you don't have anything for us to post.
Right.
Now it's a struggle for us to either come up with content or figure out where to get all this content that you need for the page. So that's something we try to have a conversation about before we just hand out a contract, is to say, okay, what content do you have? And if there is no content, if we have to create everything, there might be an additional cost for that. Yeah, okay. We do offer also, these are some new services, in-person social media content days. So content days, everyone needs reels, everyone needs content to put out, but you need someone in person with you to make you do and to make the video, teach you the little dance moves so you can do the yay. So we can do that. I think I start off only like $500 for like 3 hours of like creating content. If we do like a 5-hour session, it's $1,000 or $600. One of those, just hit me up. Reed Limited Entertainment. Follow us at Reed Limited ENT to find out. But yeah, it's on our website too. But actually, no, the prices are not on our website. That's the one thing. In order to work with us, you have to schedule a call, and I've never had an issue with that. For the last 2-3 years, really, I mean, we've been in business for 6 years, but we really set our goal. I mean, we achieved our goal last year. Last year, I took the business full time. And I worked straight out of my home. I'm blessed to live in my own home. I was blessed to move to New York in thank you so much. Moved to New York in 2020, moved back home to Atlanta, bought a house with my boyfriend, and I am able to work remotely from home and build my business, Reed Limited Entertainment. So literally, I set a goal to make $50,000 with the business last year, and we actually surpassed that goal and made $56,000.
Congratulations, man. I like that. Congratulations. I like that.
Thank you. I mean,
for real.
For me, it's not a lot because at the end of the day, we did actually have more costs last year because I'm paying for project management systems for my interns to utilize. I hired an executive assistant. That costs money for someone to work for me. But one thing I had to realize, if this business is going to grow, I have to grow my team and I have to get more people involved with the vision and what the work that we're doing for the agency. And so I also I started the business in Washington, D.C., the LLC, in 2018, but in 2020, I founded the LLC in Georgia. So we just got reincorporated in Georgia in 2020, but all together from Atlanta to DC to New York. I mean, I've been working. Okay.
So what's the biggest misconception of being a social media manager? Like, what do some people think is that, but it's really not that?
People assume that social media managers are supposed to have like 1 million followers. People assume social media managers are supposed to have like 20,000, 30,000. We're not famous. Whoever is running Beyonce's account, you don't know them.
That's true.
Whoever is running Sierra's account, whoever's running the Obama's accounts, whoever's running any major celebrity or talent account, you don't know them.
That's true.
You don't know who they are. We are actually people who work behind the scenes when it comes to social media. Social media managers are behind the scenes of social. I try with my brand, follow me at Danielle S. Reed, to bring my audience into the life of a social media man. I try to bring my audience into the life of a social media manager as much as possible, but I don't do it enough. And the reason that a lot of social media managers are not necessarily viral is because we're taking the time to manage other people's pages. A real social media manager, I mean, you can look at a social media manager in two ways.
Right.
One, a full-time job.
Okay.
I have been a social media manager for companies full-time. So that's easier. I mean, technically, usually most companies only have a couple of accounts. So technically, you might only have to worry about running your company's Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, maybe a TikTok, maybe an Instagram. But because I have my own agency, we have the capacity to take on up to 10 social media accounts. That's up to 10 clients. And honestly, our bigger packages have multiple accounts. So again, I love it when I'm able to work on a client account that has multiple accounts, because we're able to take that branding and show it across all platforms. But yeah, I guess that's one thing, is just, it's tough when folks don't have content. And then the last thing, I've only had an issue with this like once or twice. Most of the time my clients see eye to eye on my vision, because I break down the plan, the content strategy before we get started. But sometimes maybe clients will change their mind about a post or about an idea, and once it's up, I really hate it when a client is like, okay, you delete that, but I'll do it because it's your page. And I always remind my clients, it's your page, do with it what you want. But if we have already kind of set and scheduled out posts, and all of a sudden you don't like something, we always have a meeting prior to posting. So it kind of can throw us off when we have to delete or go back and remake a post or change the rebranding or wording on a post. But we allow, like a lot of tools, Google Documents allows our clients to actually see all the posts before they get posted and have a chance to actually edit and change things. So, you know, I just always try to make it as easy as possible for my clients to be able to check in on their social media posts, look ahead of time as much as we can, and so that they feel comfortable with what's going up.
Okay, I like that. So let's talk about you covering the what is it?
Render ATL.
Render ATL for Essence. I know. How was that experience, man? How did you land the opportunity? That's a big opportunity. How did you land the opportunity?
Yes, covering Render ATL for Essence was so fun, and this was actually a really big opportunity. So I got the opportunity to cover Render ATL for Essence because I'm a journalist. I, again, started off in high school reporting for my newspaper, high school newspaper, the Blue and Gold at Chamblee. Then even at Syracuse University, I was actually editor-in-chief of the Black Voice, which was a Black-owned student newspaper and organization. And so even after college, I've done freelance reporting, journalism, and covering red carpets and stuff like that. So a friend of mine by the name of Shanique Yates, shout out to Shanique. Shanique is a journalist. Journalist, she writes for Afrotech, Blavity. She writes for Revolt, Aspire TV, so many great, amazing platforms. And we've been building rapport. We met through the Ween Academy, when she auditioned a few years ago. And so I've stayed in contact with her, and I've actually been doing a lot of work with her in my PR role at I1 Digital Urban One. So she called me literally out the blue 2 weeks ago and was like, hey, I was talking about some interviews like with Dave East and some things we were trying to set up with some campaigns I'm running. And long story short, she was like, hey, do you, you're a journalist, right? And I was like, yeah. She was like, okay, there's this opportunity I can't do, but they need somebody in Atlanta like next week. Can you do it? And I was like, sure. Like, what is it? She was like, it's for Essence. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I can do it. Like, I didn't even know what it was. I was so focused on what I needed from her or what we were talking about. And then at the end of the conversation, I was like, okay, so wait, what does Essence need? Wait, what? Wait, this is for Essence? Essence? She was like, yeah, Essence. She was like, they need someone to do an in-person interview at Render ATL. And I was like, okay, I'm there. So she said, okay, well, I'll just send your information over. I didn't know she was going to send to my Instagram or my website, but you got to have all that stuff. You got to have your shit together. Like, somebody going to pitch you, they need to be able to find your name, Google you, your business, your everything. I'm public across all social accounts, so you can find me. You can find my accounts and everything. And long story short, I didn't hear anything for about 5 days. So I followed up. I was like, dang, I guess they don't want me, huh? But like 5 or 6 days later, I got a text message from one of the news editors and saying, hey, here's the story. Here's the rate, 800 words. Can you be there at this time? I was like, absolutely. And so I put my game face on. I just happened to be off work that day. I went down. There was a fireside chat, basically like a chat. I was originally supposed to interview the CEO of Zillow. Zillow was a sponsor of Render ATL. So Render ATL, of course, is one of these new Black tech conferences, actually started by a Black girl. I believe she is from Atlanta. I actually tried to work with them a couple years ago. And so Zillow was having this chat with it ended up being the senior vice president of product, this guy. They wanted me to interview him. And so I had to basically meet with the team, listen to the chat. And then they wanted the article to be about really how Zillow's diversity and inclusion efforts have really increased and how them being at Render ATL is a big deal and kind of why they are looking to recruit, more Black tech talent. So that's why the headline of the article is Zillow and giving tips on how Black professionals in tech can get hired. And so one thing I loved about the conversation and the experience is I learned a lot about Zillow. Zillow, of course, is the website where you can find houses if you're looking to purchase a home or even rent a home or something like that, but they're creating all these extra tools. They offer 100% remote work jobs. I don't know if y'all know about this remote work life, but I'm never going back into the office. I'm never going back. Never going back. Never. Ever.
I like that.
Never.
Man.
Ever. Never. I'm never. When I tell you, Darius, Danielle Reed, will never be going back into an office.
Okay.
That's on period, forever. I'm never going back. I'm remote.
To existence.
I've been working remote for 3-4 years.
Okay.
I have not been back. I'm not going to tell you can't even be hybrid. Nope, baby, I'm not hybrid. I'm remote. So anytime I hear a company is 100% remote, Spotify is 100% remote, Facebook is 100% remote, Twitter is 100% remote, my job is 100% remote. A lot of people are remote. You just got to stick and move and find the companies that are on that wave. But guess what? Because Zillow is remote now, he was talking about, we used to only could hire in Seattle, Washington, and San Francisco because we used to require everyone to come to the office, and that's where their offices were located. But they were we realized that once we went to this 100% remote work model, we could actually hire people from all over the country. So of course now they're actually able to interview more diverse talent because you can hire somebody from Atlanta or Washington, D.C., or Chicago, or New York. If you have the opportunity to search for more people, you're going to find usually a good amount of talent. So it made sense. I'm all about remote work life. And shoot, y'all might mess around and see me at Zillow in the next month or two. So just look out for that. But it was a pleasure. It was a freelance gig. So working in entertainment, a lot of people don't understand what freelance is. I feel like I learned what freelance was so late. Freelance work is paid work. I got paid to cover that event and do the interview. And that's something that I don't always get a chance to. A lot of journalists and a lot of these media personalities, we do our own thing for free. I've showed up to red carpets and interviewed celebrities for free. When I covered the Urban One Honors last year and interviewed Dougie Fresh and all that, I did all that for free. That's not paid. See, there's a difference between passion and work. Everyone wants to get paid to do what they love. But if the thing that you love is not something that is easy to get to, everyone wants to get paid to be a rapper, But if 1,000,005 people want to all rap, only 20 people can get a record deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only going to be the best of the 20 or the most connected of the 20, like who you know. So you could be great, you could be talented, but that still doesn't mean the opportunity is going to find you like that. So it takes grind. Like I have always dreamed of being in Essence, and it was actually on my vision board. I created a vision board 2 years ago when I moved into my home. And that was a dream come true. And like I set a goal to move to New York for 2 years, get a job, save up, and come back and buy a house. I was able to achieve that goal in a year and a half. Now, here's the funny part. A lot of people don't know this, but I got fired. I had to lose my job in New York. I got my first severance package. That severance package was the down payment on my house. I got fired off some racist shit at that job. There's actually an article out there about it, about the discrimination. But everything in my life has happened for a reason. Even though I've been through a lot of like crazy work trauma, racist shit, like God was leading me closer to what I really wanted, which was to be able to come home and be able to work for Black-owned companies and Black media and put on for my community. So now that I have that safe space in my home, I'm able to really sit back and look at like, what is it that I really want to do and who do I really want to work for? Because at this point, I don't got to work for nobody but myself.
I like that. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Man, let's get into this game, man. You ready to get into this game, man?
Yes, let's play a game. What we playing?
Let's get into this game. You know what I'm saying? I ask you 5 questions, man. Whichever ones you get right, I take a shot. Whichever ones you get wrong, you take a shot.
Okay.
Now, the point of this game is a guessing game, okay? I know 9 times out of 10, niggas ain't walking around knowing the answer to these goddamn questions. But I keep it on Black excellence. I see our values are mine as far as, Black owned, Black everything. So I keep it on what Black people dominate the most. As far as music, sports, entertainment, all that. So it's all black everything, the question I ask you. And I give you multiple choice. Okay. So when I ask you the question, don't be looking like, oh my God, I know the answer. Oh my God.
I got this. I ain't worried.
Are you scared?
Nope. I don't think so. Do I have a reason to be scared?
Which Metro Boomin song from his album Heroes and Villains reached higher on the Billboard? Was it A, Superhero, B, Walk 'Em Down?
Metro Boomin.
Metro Boomin.
Superhero, Walk 'Em Down. Is it Walk 'Em Down?
Walk 'Em Down.
Yay!
No. That's your answer?
Wait, between those two choices?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's wrong.
Dang. Okay. All right.
Oh, you just poured. See, I'm going to say if you had some in your cup, you just could have poured in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me go ahead and take that one for the team.
Go ahead.
Dang.
I thought you got it right.
All right. Okay.
Funny shit. Oh, this is
Go ahead and haha. I mean, wait, what's Superhero? What song is that? How does it go?
Where I go?
Exactly. See, that's why I couldn't remember
Turn
it.
to a superhuman. Yeah, it's that Future song, Future. I heard it so many times. You're not a Future fan?
No, I mean, I just don't remember that off the name of it.
That song was really, that's the most streamed album on the Metro Boomin's album. Still, and they came out last year.
And Metro Boomin is a producer, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You like, what's that?
I know Metro Boomin, but I was like,
DJ Khaled.
Do I listen to
DJ
his
Khaled drop an album?
Oh, like Metro Boomin drops albums? Dang.
I mean, I think he just started.
I ain't even know that for real. Okay, now I know.
Okay, anyway, let's go. What Moneybag Yo song sold more units? Was it A, Time Today, or B, Scorpio? I know you know those 2 songs.
Scorpio.
That's your final answer?
Yes.
That's wrong.
Dang! Wait, hold up. What was the first one?
Time Today.
Oh, I thought you said Time to Die.
No, I said Time Today.
So you said it so fast. That's why.
Today.
If you said Time Today, because look at my wrist, I got Time Today. I would have said that one.
Okay.
But the Scorpio one is kind of popular.
I don't like nobody. I figured you would say Scorpio. I figured you would say that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I put it.
I'm
Sometimes
sorry.
I try to make it, trick question because I know it's like a tough.
Okay.
Tough for them.
It's all right. I got the next 3.
Nah, I ain't forget happy because you know what? I think this happened last episode and they came and beat me 3-2. So let me not get happy. Okay, you might know this. Which designer brand been out the longest? A. Versace. B. Fendi.
Which designer brand has been out the longest?
Mm-hmm.
A. Versace or B. Fendi? Fendi?
Fendi.
Now you got me really thinking hard. Like, okay, Versace or Fendi? I really want to say Versace.
Is your final answer?
Yes.
That's wrong.
Bruh.
You should have kept Fendi. You had it right.
No, for real. Damn, that's why they sued Rihanna. Damn. Now they sued the hell out of her. When
Hey man, we started this game off pretty well.
I mean,
man.
look, you just came out of nowhere with all these random trivia.
Interview up and man, so many gems. We gotta get her. Okay, so that's 2. So who has played in more movies, Will Smith or Wesley Snipes?
Sheesh. Who has played in more movies?
That's a tough ass.
That is a tough one. Cause like, unless I literally Google this, how would I know? These are hard. Okay, Wesley Snipes or Will Smith? Mm-hmm. Now, who's older? Wesley Snipes is older.
Remember when Snipes went to jail we didn't want Jeff not paying taxes?
Nope, I don't remember that. I mean, maybe
Jeff not paying taxes.
Maybe okay. I feel okay. You said how many more movies?
Who's played in more movies?
All right, movies only. So if we take Fresh Prince of Bel-Air out, that's not even a movie. That's a show.
Okay.
Wesley Snipes wasn't in those shows either. He's been in more movies. I feel like the answer is Wesley. I feel like the answer is Wesley Snipes because I've also seen a documentary about Will Smith talking about how picky he is with what movies he's in. So for that reason, even though I thought it was going to be Will Smith at first, but if I'm really... Dang.
I don't like niggas, I don't like bitches, I don't like nobody.
Okay, Wesley Snipes. I'm gonna go with Wesley Snipes.
Final answer?
Yes.
That's correct.
Woo! Thank you, Jesus. Oh my gosh.
I give you that. You got that.
Okay.
I give you that.
These are some good questions. I'm actually impressed.
And then how you broke that down, though. I'm impressed how you broke that down.
Thank you. I should be on Jeopardy, right? Or what's the other one? Wheel of Fortune? Nah, don't put me on that movie on that show. Put me on The Circle, okay?
Put it on The Circle, y'all.
Cast me.
So we went down to the last question.
Ooh, let's go.
Which show had more seasons? A. Martin. B. Steve Harvey Show.
Ooh, all right. Which show had more seasons, the Steve Harvey Show or Martin? I really want to say Martin. I want to say Martin because I feel like it broke records with how many seasons they had type shit. Because the Steve Harvey Show...
It went on for a while, though.
It wasn't on that long?
Steve Harvey had that cut was so fresh.
But was it really on longer?
Steve Harvey had the freshest...
He was good, but wasn't that like the first real thing that we really got to see Steve in?
Maybe so.
For real. So. Yeah, I mean, I remember when the Steve Harvey Show got cut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I remember when they talked about how Cedric the Entertainer said they just brought us a cake, like we didn't even know it was the last day of shooting. Like,
for real?
Yeah, the way that they cut the show of Steve Harvey Show, the way they cut it off was bad. Mm-hmm. I'm going to say Martin.
Final answer?
Yes.
Pull it up. You absolutely
Damn. Oh man. So the Steve Harvey Show had more seasons
more
than Martin?
Than Martin, yes.
Wow, I would not have known that. That's so random.
I knew you.
Where did you get these questions?
I knew you would think that simple fact because you see Martin on TV more than the Steve Harvey Show.
We do. They do play it way more.
Yeah, they play it way more, so you would think that. And I was like, you know what? I know a person might fuck around and say Maury.
But how many then? How many did? Do you actually have the stats on how many episodes compared?
I think they only one season apart.
That's what I'm about to say. That was
one
close.
season apart.
See, how am I supposed to know that, y'all?
One season apart.
How am I supposed to know that?
But the way you broke it down, so intelligently, like, okay.
Thank you. It was close because I feel like
this.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Because my thing is like I'm over here trying to use logic. But like, I don't see how anyone else would have thought it was the Steve Harvey show.
Hey man.
Unless they just got lucky.
We back in business. Let's get back to this interview, man. So you becoming a publicist, man. What made you want to become a publicist?
So when I was a talent manager, people kept telling me to do PR.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what is PR?
Mm-hmm.
PR is what I came to find out is public relations. Mm-hmm. So even though I went to Syracuse University, I have my bachelor's degree. I actually majored in African American studies and Spanish language, literature, and culture.
Right.
So I have a second language and I have my history, which I was very adamant about learning Black history when I was in college because you can't learn it anywhere else.
Right.
So I ended up not even getting admitted into the Newhouse School of Journalism. But even still, even if I had gotten in, I don't even know if I would have even had a PR class. So long story short, people usually don't know what a publicist is or what PR does, and I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna put y'all on game. A publicist's job is to book media interviews, TV interviews, radio interviews for all celebrities, all companies, all brands everywhere. I can guarantee you, just like there's a communications team or just like there's a sales team at every company, there is a public relations team, usually a PR team. Sometimes that PR team is on the communications team, but every single time you see and turn on the news and it's Good Day America or Good Day Atlanta and they've got somebody interviewing, it was somebody's job to book that person. You might refer to this person as a booker, someone who books interviews. That's a publicist. It's the same thing. Now, I try to break it down. A publicist is different than a talent manager. A talent manager, like if I manage Lil Baby, I'm managing Lil Baby's schedule, his bookings, his shows, all his sponsorship, brand deals, photo shoots, video shoots, music videos, all his clothing lines, accessories. That's what a manager does, is manage all this stuff for an artist. A publicist's job alone, a publicist's job is to make sure that the public is aware of what they're pushing. So even music labels have PR. Right. Have you noticed, do you know, okay, let me ask you this.
Okay, listen.
Do you know why people and brands got upset when Beyonce dropped that album out of nowhere a few years ago?
But ain't it like her second time doing this?
No, the first time she did it. The first time she did it was like back in 2015, 14.
Was it with Lemonade?
No, it was before that.
It was before Lemonade. Damn.
Yeah,
I remember when it happened.
Right, and Jay-Z low-key almost did it after her.
They did the same thing, yeah.
Spotify sued her.
For real?
Target sued her. Walmart sued her. Beyonce got sued because since the dawn of time, brands always control when music drops. How? Because they had to put the CDs out. When everything switched to streaming, and when Jay-Z bought Tidal, she decided to release an album on Tidal only. She got sued by every music streaming site because she did not put the album on theirs. That was the first time she ever did it, and that changed the game. Because never before have record labels ever not promoted a release prior to the release. Why is it that you have to promote a release? Because traditionally in the world of TV, radio, film, record labels, they have to make sure and give the team months ahead to set these things up. We want to have Beyonce do Good Morning America, Fox News, MSNBC. It takes time to set these things up. But if you don't tell someone that something's happening, they can't set it up. And then why does she do that? Beyonce did it to prove she don't need a publicist. She don't need a team. She don't need Walmart. She don't need commercials. She don't need no radio. She don't need promotion because she's that big. That's why she did it. So she was going against the grain and disrupting the industry, because traditionally, especially if you look at old school like record labels, you had to have not only the album ready and perfect at a certain period of time so the record label could listen to it and make their changes and edits. Then they could send it off to distributors, make sure that it's ready to drop on the drop date, and then they would do a press tour of the week that it dropped. Why? To increase the likelihood of the numbers and the listeners and the downloads. Why? Because that's how they make money. So now things have changed. You can make more money off streaming, and now these artists can make money independently off of selling their own shows, concerts, etc., etc. So guess what? You don't got to go through a label. Guess what? You don't have to have a PR plan. Well, you should. You should. Not everyone is not Beyonce.
That's true.
Do not do that. So for everyone else in the world who's not Beyonce, you should hire a publicist to promote you so you can talk about your new project, new store that you opened, new book that you put out, new TV show that you wrote and produced, so that the world knows about it. Otherwise, how are we going to know about it?
That's true. I agree. So what are some of the biggest obstacles you had to overcome, though, being a publicist?
I would say a big obstacle actually was imposter syndrome. Wow.
Someone said it before.
Yeah. I hate imposter syndrome, because anytime I hear somebody got it, I be like, fuck you. You should just like believe in yourself, bitch. Like, just believe in yourself that you can do it. And I say that, the N word and the B word, because I've lived in New York, so I can say anything at this point. But honestly, no, sometimes you have to big up yourself. Like, at the end of the day, until I started landing bigger interviews for my clients, I still felt like what I was doing was small or not as important or not as special. But it meant the world when clients of mine get excited about getting a podcast interview, get excited about being online or getting an interview with somebody that they really, really, really wanted to talk to. So imposter syndrome. When I lived in New York, I really just started doing PR, again, starting in like 2018. Really, really, really getting into sending out emails to journalists, sending out media pitches, creating press releases and things like that. And now that the business and my name has kind of gotten out there, I also wanted to prove that I could do this job in a full-time capacity. I've worked as a social media manager full-time for a tech company in California. They treated me like shit, but they paid well. I've worked as a social media manager full-time for a nonprofit. I've worked as a social media manager full-time for a media company. But as far as PR, until I got this job, which I'll tell you about, I have never worked as a full-time publicist on payroll for a company. So I like to know the way I do things as an entrepreneur, kind of my own way, but it's always still good to know the industry way of how they do things. So I currently actually am a public relations manager at I1 Digital Urban One. It's actually my dream job to work for. This is the largest Black-owned media company in the world. They own TV One, they own I1 Digital, Reach Media, Radio One, Clio TV as well. You probably heard. And so I have been doing PR, pitching PR campaigns, setting up like celebrity interviews. I just set up some interviews for like Jim Jones, Papoose, Dave East, Jesse Wu. And so that's my dream, like, come true. I've been in this role for 6 months, and I really love what I do every day. Every day I'm literally like promoting some kind of dope, cool piece of content. And I've proven to myself that I can land some pretty big interviews. My latest interviews that I've landed have been Baller Alert. I landed Sheen Magazine recently. And being in Essence, I mean, my goal was to put a client in Essence, to get a client of mine in Essence, but I didn't think, and I'm so glad God brought it around so that I could see my byline by Danielle S. Reed in Essence. And I, of course, always wanted to work for Essence, but it just seemed like they were too far away. They're based in Brooklyn, New York. But I was really happy, and I'm actually hoping to be able to write for Essence more as a freelancer.
Okay. So what kind of advice can you give to other Black female entrepreneurs?
The advice I will give to other Black female entrepreneurs is stop doing everything by yourself. Stop doing that, girl. Please stop doing that, girl. Stop doing everything by yourself, girl. You cannot run a multi-million-dollar business by yourself. Nobody is going to do it, and it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. You have to hire a team. You have to hire a team. I'm not saying go broke paying for a team. I'm saying start talking and figuring out how to get interns to help you out. Mm-hmm. Start figuring out do you really just need, like, what is the one position or one thing that you need done in your company that you hate doing that you know is super important, but it takes a lot of time away from the thing that you love to do in your business. Hire someone to do that so that you can focus on the part that you love about your business. I hate the money part. Like, I hate sending out invoices. I hate sending out reminders to pay bills. And I hate even bringing it up because I love just talking to the client and doing the work. But guess what? If they don't pay me, I can't run my business.
Facts.
So I hired an operations manager to make sure that things are still moving. And the second thing is work with other women. I don't know what it is, but I've noticed something. When it comes to Black entrepreneurship, Black men are the first to team up and get big. All these new startups you hear that are so successful, Slim and Huskies, that's 3-4 Black men working together. Right. Now they got pizza shops opening up all over the country. You talk about The Gathering Spot, that's 2 Black men that went to college together that created a whole Black-owned country club experience that's now in Atlanta, LA, DC, and expanding to Chicago, all these places. Black men, for whatever reason, when they get together and have an idea and a vision, they explode and the world wants to support them. Where are the sisters at? How come I don't think I see as many sisters coming to work together? What about the Black women that are coming together to work and build partnerships and build companies in Fortune 500 corporations? I think sometimes as Black women, we still too much look at each other as competition. I don't treat other publicists like competition. I treat them as friends. Like, hey sis, I have a client doing this, you have a client doing that. How can we help each other? Right. How can we build together? How can we partner together? How can we make this money together? So for Black women, entrepreneurs, and any entrepreneurs, I would ask, who is it that you could work with that would build and increase the audience for your brand and your business? Right. There's got to be someone out there that you could partner with, or that if you work together, and I'm not saying just hire them on as a permanent contract. I'm just saying, like, think about stepping outside your world and inviting other businesses or other people into your world just to get that different perspective to see if y'all can build or work together. That's what I'm trying to do this year. I actually do want to build more partnerships this year and be more intentional with, like, working on events and building and working together, because it's so many businesses and everybody wants to do everything by themselves. But it's like, if you get together and do it better, we can do it so much better together.
That's true. So you open up a hookah lounge. What made you
hookah lounge? Hookah. That accent, you almost sounded like you said hooker lounge. I'm like, no. Hookah lounge. Where are you from, Atlanta?
Yes, sir.
Southside. You from Riverdale? You from this area?
No, I ain't from there. I'm from the west side.
Okay.
I went to Mays. I grew up on that side.
Okay, Mays.
Okay, so what made you want to do that, and what are some of your highs and lows you've experienced so far? Sure.
So the idea actually to open a hookah lounge came from a good girlfriend of mine. Her name is Imani. She actually brought the idea to my boyfriend. We're all friends, and this was about maybe a year or 2 years ago. So probably 2021. She was like, yo, like, why is it that we always got to go downtown to do hookah in Atlanta? Why can't we have somewhere on the south side? We all grew up on the south side, Jonesboro, Morrow, Riverdale area, so in Clayton County, South Atlanta. And so I was like, I came outside, I think he was like washing his car. I came outside, I was like, what y'all talking about? And they were like, yo, what if we like open a hookah lounge? She was like, we should open a hookah lounge. It should be called Vibe. Like, they started throwing out names. So we came up with Vibe Hookah Lounge, and our goal was, so the lounge is not open yet. Okay. This is an idea we have now spoken into existence, and it has grown so much faster and quick. Like, way bigger than we expected. There are some people, once we put the Instagram page up, I started getting calls for people to perform at the hookah lounge. I'm like, we do not have the lounge yet. So we are raising money to open a hookah lounge. And what we did was last year we started throwing hookah lounge parties at our house once a month to raise money. So we sold food, drinks. We was making Bahama Mamas, margaritas, and we offered free hookah to people who wanted to just come, chill, hang out, because we have a nice back patio outside that's covered. So we hosted a few hookah lounge parties, raised some money, made about $300 off the first one. And our goal is to just continue to push and, raise money. We have had to kind of pause. And when I say we, my boyfriend and I, so Brian Lucien is the love of my life. He is probably at home waiting for me to get home. And he works in hospitality and catering. Okay. So he actually works at Microsoft. Before that, he was at the Georgia Aquarium, but he works in food and beverage. So he knows the way it's supposed to be set up nice and kind of that way. And so we just really like hookah. Brian actually got me into hookah. When I met him in New York, we actually met on the Hinge app. Hinge is great. If you have not used Hinge, you're going to fall in love. Download it. Literally met on the Hinge app, and he brought his hookah stuff down when we moved into the house, and then slowly but surely he kind of started teaching me how to set the hookah up. So he's actually, my boyfriend taught me how to set up the hookah. And now we both know how to set it up. And it's just like, as hookah has become more popular in Atlanta, the prices have been going up. Do you know if you go try to pay for a hookah, sometimes they be trying to charge you $60?
Yeah.
What the hell? $60 for a hookah?
Yeah.
Why? Like, absolutely not. Even $40, $50 for hookah. Are you serious? So we want to bring affordable hookah back to Atlanta. Affordable hookah back to Atlanta. And I really want to open up a hookah lounge on the south side that's black owned. We don't have enough black owned hookah lounges.
We don't.
Just take it from me. I don't have the stats on it. I don't got the stats on it. Yeah, but we don't have enough black owned hookah lounges. I'm tired of Black people spending all our money giving it to some other race of people that can't even speak English to us for real to give us our entertainment.
That's true.
We can make fun for ourselves for free, but if we're gonna entertain doing something that we all love to do, why not pay someone in our own community to do it?
That's true.
And still get the same nice experience. Like, I really think about it. I think it's a great business idea. I Googled how to open a hookah lounge, and it was like a step-by-step business plan for it. It was like, all you need is about $40,000 to open a hookah lounge. That's it. If you think about it, all you need is a space with seats, tables, and some hookah. We actually have already purchased 15 hookahs. So we were able to buy them in bulk in New York, and we have hoses, we have tips, we have everything. And we've actually even started talking about, I know Brian really wanted to do the mobile hookah lounge. Mobile hookah lounges, mobile, are kind of popular. Like, all these random restaurants want to offer hookah, but what they do is they'll hire 2 girls to come in and do the hookah. Right. So sometimes service is trash because you waiting 45 minutes for a hookah downtown. You're like, where is my hookah? How long does it take? Because it's only 2 people do a hookah for 200 people. So you got to be careful of these places that you're trying to go to. It's not a hookah lounge, but you're ordering hookah as a service. So not only is, because it's a service, they're charging you more for the hookah, but then they don't even really have people staffing the hookah. So now you're taking longer to get the hookah, but you're paying $60 for something that's going to take 45 minutes for you to get. Right. So it doesn't make sense. And then they charge you for refills and charge you for extra cold and charge you for this and that. Like, it's a ripoff a lot of places. And I'm like, it shouldn't have to be a ripoff, and it shouldn't be non-Black people capitalizing off of it. So that's why I really want to open our hookah lounge maybe by 2025, 2024, 2025 on the south side, in Stockbridge, Georgia. I don't know if y'all in Stockbridge, but there's a lot of black homeowners in that area. So it only makes sense if we're going to own houses. Like, we got to start owning these businesses, and not just businesses that you want to make. Hell, own a gas station. A gas station is a business that already exists. You ain't got to read no book about it. You ain't got to go get no degree to run a goddamn gas station. But do you know can you tell me how much a gas station makes?
No, I have no idea.
Most Black people do not know how much a gas station makes. It makes a lot of money.
I can imagine.
A lot of money. But how many times, when was the last time you heard a Black person say, I want to own a gas station? But we don't own no gas stations in this country. We don't own half these fast food restaurants. There are so many businesses that we should look into owning, and it's easier to own those and get loans, business loans to own these things because they're already proven profitable businesses. When you create your own business, you have to go down to the bank and tell them and prove to them that you're making money, and you will make money if you get a loan doing this. But if you're opening up a Wendy's, okay, well, they already know the business plan. Loan approved. Because you're opening up a Wendy's, which is a business that they already know is going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you have to remember, sometimes it's not even about, if you want to open a business, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Go with a business plan that is already created and invest your money in doing whatever it takes to do that. And that's what I'm trying to do with the hookah lounge. Like, a hookah lounge is a business that already is proven to make money. So I don't have to convince you this is going to make money. We know it's going to make money. Actually, all I need is the loan to get the spot, and we're in business. So definitely follow Vibe Hookah Lounge _ I think it's Vibe Hookah Lounge, Lord. I ain't looked at that page in a minute. Like I said, we took a step back, but it's not going anywhere. We do want to still open it up.
Okay, so where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years,
where do you see yourself?
I plan on still being at home, working remotely.
Okay.
But I would love to probably have my first child and be married with you know who.
Okay.
So we already have the crib, just need the ring. And you know, I actually hope to be maybe producing my first TV show. I really want to be a TV writer and producer. I produced my first pilot called Atlanta Zone back in 2017. So while I was starting Read Limited Entertainment, I was producing Atlanta's Own. I hired my own production, you know, kind of crew and a director. I cast my own people. It was about women entrepreneurs. So I plan on pitching that project and actually hopefully getting that show picked up maybe. So either I could be working on that show if it's picked up for like a Bravo or a TLC or BET. So hopefully, yeah, doing something in television that allows me to be a writer or producer.
Okay. Man, you have worked with so many brands, man, with Vault, BET Plus, Delta, and Star. I mean, the list goes on, man. Did you ever picture yourself like being like this successful, like this big? Like, did you ever picture yourself?
Yes.
Or imagine this in your wildest dreams?
Yes. I am an overachiever.
Absolutely.
I have always had big dreams and goals. I'll never forget, I think I was 8 years old when I told my mom that I wanted to be president of the United States. And I was dead ass. Like, I didn't bat an eyelash. And she was like, girl, you're not about to do that. You're not going to do that. I'm not going to let you do that. And I was so confused as to her reaction. But growing up now, it's like you see how unsafe the world is. I mean, people didn't want Barack Obama to be president because they thought he would get killed, which is a real healthy fear because Black people get killed daily in the United States. And it's not considered a problem to the people in power.
That's true.
So, yeah, what was the question?
Yeah. Did you ever imagine yourself being this big? But I think you already.
I'm going to say something that this one girl said it to me when I interviewed her, and I was like, what? I'm not as big as I want to be yet. I have a goal, of course, to reach eventually 10,000 followers. You will. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm on the road to 5K right now.
Absolutely.
So go ahead and follow your girl at Danielle S. Reed. Danielle S. Reed across all platforms.
Okay.
But in addition to just, having a lot more followers on social, I really am glad that I've been able to say I worked at Stars. I was a production assistant when I worked at Stars. I'm glad I can say that I worked for Def Jam. I did a gig with Def Jam in New York. Actually, it was a Dave East gig. He was premiering his documentary or something. And I worked on the street team for it, promoting it. It's been a pleasure to say again that I've written for Essence and that my name is there. And I think all of these things are like showing me that I can get to exactly where I want to be. Thank you. I actually went to a film talk discussion at the Atlanta City Hall last week. And I realized that I've been afraid to pitch my television show. And I didn't even realize that I've been afraid, but I haven't done it yet. And I created it 4 or 5 years ago. So what was I afraid of? I was afraid that it wasn't the best quality. It wasn't perfect, but I realized that the world really praises people who are imperfect. Take Cardi B, for example. She went from snaggletooth to like overnight celebrity. But the reason people really followed her was because she was real and she was fearless and she was unafraid to say things that people needed to hear. She was disruptive. And I just actually attended, I don't know if you've heard of American Sesh, the American Sesh with Pinky Cole and Derek Hayes. It's a secret kind of private kind of experience that only a select few get invited to. Right. I was invited to a live American Sesh at the Gathering Spot last week. And we talked about all these amazing things like business ideas and goals. And it just showed me like, I'm not far from where I want to be. And I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to look back and I'm going to be completely 100% satisfied with my life. And I'm there now. Okay. And that's something I want to share because even though like I'm not someone who's really materialistic talking about money, like I'm not trying to be like a millionaire, but why not be a millionaire? Right. I would love to own more businesses and you know, start to have, you know, kind of make money in my sleep. But I'm not about to be on this pyramid scheme type shit. I'm not about to be selling y'all master classes. I'm not about to be doing all this other stuff. Because I always have believed that I will make it in a way that's unique and different. Right. Like, I'm not saying I'm not going to do what makes sense, but I'm not going to do what everyone else is doing. There's a lot of people out here talking about they make 5, 6, 7, 8 figures. And it's like, baby, until I see a motherfucking check, I don't even believe you. I don't believe you making 7 figures, baby. Making all these videos that only got 10 likes on it. Like,
and to be honest, it really don't even matter. Honestly, it really don't even matter.
Right, and I realized that's the new $0. I make 6 figures. That's not even a number. That's a description of a number. Show me the money. Show me the real numbers. That's one thing. Social media, the numbers don't lie. Absolutely. PR, the numbers don't lie.
Absolutely.
Numbers do not lie.
What are your top 5 favorite interviews you've done so far?
Oh, I love this question. Top 5?
Top 5.
Black China.
Okay.
I did not expect Black China to be so nice and beautiful. She's gorgeous and soft-spoken. The way that the media treats her, you would think she's some loud, erratic, crazy woman. Really. But she's a very soft-spoken woman.
Shout out Black China, man, for real.
Black China is gorgeous, and I didn't ask her anything messy. I'm so glad I didn't. But she was super genuine, really nice, really was surprised and happy to interview Black China. Okay. Vivica Fox, and Vivica, that was the same night. Vivica Fox gave so much power and energy. Not everyone has an aura, but when Vivica walked into that room, being close to her, I was actually the first journalist on that carpet at that event to ask her the question. When I asked those 2 questions, everybody was recording. Everybody put their microphone up to her face to get those answers. And I'll never forget, I asked questions that were off the top of my head, but she answered them and she loved them. And she told me about how she stays like booked busy. She's booked busy and blessed. Vivica Fox is a titan. That night, I almost didn't go to that premiere. I was having a little imposter syndrome because I was like, I'm not really in media. I'm not really doing interviews. I don't really have an outlet. Most journalists have an outlet that you report for, that you're getting paid for. I don't have an outlet. I've been doing a lot of other things outside of journalism, but I went and I'm so glad I landed those 2 interviews. Third, Dougie Fresh. Dougie Fresh is a legend.
Absolutely.
But do y'all know Dougie Fresh has some great skin? I got up close to Dougie Fresh. That man is healthy. He's older, but I actually asked him about his health regimen. He said, drink a lot of water. Okay, drink a lot of water. Like, he's healthy, and I love that he's pushing and very health conscious. Dougie Fresh is a legend. I've had a chance to see him twice now. I had a chance to interview him. It sounded like he remembered me, but he was really, really respectful, really nice, just super dope, super wise. Top 4.
Okay, girl.
I'll never forget, I interviewed Lloyd. I love Lloyd. This R&B singer Lloyd, shout out to Lloyd. I interviewed Lloyd at the premiere of the Bobby DeBarge story. Okay. That was on TV1. I was living in Washington, D.C. I covered the carpet as a media for TV1. And And it was not for TV1. I was just on the carpet at a TV1 screening of the film.
Right.
And had a chance to come over. I was surprised he even talked to me because all I had was my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
All I had was my cell phone. I think I asked a friend, a homegirl who was standing next to me. It was so many people.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Hey girl, can you record this real quick on my phone?"
Mm-hmm.
And I stood next to him and I was like, "Hey," and we hopped in there and we did that interview.
Okay. Then.
And he's so soft spoken. Lloyd is like, "Yeah, when I, he just so soft spoken." But that was one of my favorite interviews because I was just so happy that he spoke to me. I was honored. I was really honored. Last one, Jasmine Guy. This is so crazy. Jasmine Guy was so real. I was trying to ask her a question during my interview with her because she had some screening last year. Jasmine Guy from A Different World. This is from A Different World. She was the light-skinned Whitley. And so Jasmine Guy is a legend. I just can't believe I even had a chance to interview her. Right. But I was trying to get to this long question about how it was to be at the Different World reunion. And she said, no. The question I had asked her was, what is the legacy that you're leaving behind as Whitley and after celebrating 10 years of A Different World or 20 years or 50 years or whatever it was. Right. And she was like, that's too deep. She said, I can't go into all that. Ask me something easy. I said, okay. So I switched up. I said, tell me about this film. I'm like, so she was so real. I loved it. I just was like, I love it. She looks great for her age, but I don't know. I feel like there's so many interviews. I really haven't even thought about the interviews I've done so far. Like,
that's a good 5 though. I mean, it's not a bad top 5.
Thank you.
Great top 5.
Let's sit on that top 5.
And I just want to say, man, it's been a pleasure having you on this podcast, man. Giving out all of these gems, all of these knowledge. Thank you so much, man. I created this platform for upcoming entrepreneurs and entertainers because there's no platform for us, you know what I'm saying?
Nope.
As you probably know, people only care about you once you reach that certain status. So I was like, man, it's beauty in the journey, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's beauty, and there's a lot of people up here that have a lot of knowledge and gems and stories to tell that are very interesting. Just gotta give them a chance, you know what I'm saying? And we don't give them a chance because we shoot them down because they not on this level yet. So that's why I put you on Game platform.
Love it.
Just to give everybody a platform to come up here, talk your shit, you know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? Just give you a platform to promote yourself. That's what it's all about, man. And I just want to genuinely thank you from the bottom of your heart, you know what I'm saying? I feel so honored interviewing you because you just have done so many great things.
Thank
it's
you.
Wow, like you actually came and sat down with me, you know what I'm saying? And, gave me some of your time, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
I look at time is valuable. You know what I'm saying? You could be in there, like you said, your boyfriend's at home, I ain't know you now. You know what I'm saying? You could be anywhere, you know what I'm saying, doing this, but you came over here and gave me some of your time. I just want you to know I greatly appreciate it, man, and I definitely gonna support you, man. This forever, You can always come back on here, anything you need to promote, you can always come up here, man, and I'll definitely be here for you for real, man. That's what it's all about.
Thank you so much, Darius. I appreciate you and your time. I really do appreciate it. And I hope anyone listening, if you want to learn more about my business, public relations, social media, event planning, make sure you visit www.reedlimitedent.com. That's REEDLIMITEDENT.com. And make sure you follow me, Danielle S. Reed, at Danielle S. Reed, DANIELLESREED, across all social media platforms. It's RLE, and you already know we putting you on game.
Absolutely, man. And that wraps it up, man, for another episode of Put You on Game. All right.